Joining us to discuss is former prosecutor and criminal and civil defense attorney Randolph Rice. Randolph, thank you so much for joining both of us here today. I have to tell you, hearing these gruesome details of the different body parts found in the different bags, stacked up in the shower and the van where they were taking a trip for their first wedding anniversary, I just can't hold on to it. I can't grasp it. I can't understand how even if a jury believes he killed her in self-defense, how can they believe that knowing he then was able to defile her body in this manner?
Yeah, the big takeaway, and I think it's really telling, is that the sergeant who's just testifying, Sergeant Nolan, when asked about what was found in one of the bags, she herself, who is a trained investigator who probably sees crime scenes all the time, couldn't hold in the emotion when they found the head of Emily Ferlazzo. So that shows you just how gruesome it was. But I think now she's testifying about the stab wounds. That's going to be very hard for the defendant to explain away.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you got the shooting, then the stab wounds. And I can tell you this, Randolph, if you ask me what gets more criminals caught, the crime itself or the cover-up, I would 100 times out of 100 say the cover-up. And I think, again, that's the biggest problem in the case.
Yeah, the cover-up's going to sink him here, because what's going to happen is, and we think that the defendant rather, is going to testify based on the opening statements of his attorney. When he gets on that stand, this prosecutor is going to have a field day asking about, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And it's going to be hard to argue away, you know, he was stressed or alcohol, which is what the opening statement said. That's not going to hold weight with this jury. Why did you stab her? Self-defense, she was dead. You just shot her twice in the head.
And he did say she went berserk, and that's why I had to shoot her. She went berserk. Well, I think that my concern for him is going berserk does not amount to you have to kill someone and dismember them in self-defense, in my mind.
No, I think you're right. And berserk is very different. It appears that they had some arguments throughout that day. I find it very interesting that they both keep guns underneath their pillows. That's a bit strange to me. But nonetheless, they went berserk, and his, I guess, defense is going to say, she was about to shoot me. I had to do what was necessary to protect myself. But again, like Michael said, it's the things after, the behavior after, the searches, the behavior with the family members of the defendant after. That's what's going to sink him in this case.
Yeah.
And what you do when you're a defense attorney and you're trying to get the jurors to believe an alternative version to what the state is presenting, you have to hope that the evidence of the case supports your story. And the problem, Randolph, is that it doesn't. The first thing he's going to have to explain is what happened to the gun that she had. Because he's claiming she had a gun, like you said, under her pillow, pulls it out and says she's going to kill him before he kills her.
Right. And remember, these jurors were brought in because they are reasonable people. They have reasonable expectations of what reasonable behavior should be. If you felt like your life was in danger and you had to act, the common or the reasonable behavior would be, yes, I shot my wife and I called 911 and told them it was in self-defense. Not, I hack up her body, I stab her more, I go on my day, I make weird searches on the internet, I don't say anything to anybody. That's not reasonable behavior for somebody who feared for their life.
Yeah, and it completely and utterly supports the prosecution's theory.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does too.
All right, Randolph, stand by. We're going to take a break here, folks. Still to come on Court TV, more details are revealed about the nature of the relationship between an old